WCB Podcast, your source for all things Chicago Blackhawks and everything hockey. With your host, let's do it, Jarom, Tanner, and Nolly.
All right, it's another edition of the WCB Podcast, a part of the Hockey Podcast Network, presented by DraftKings. It is Jarom, it is Tanner. What is up, bud?
You know, same old, baby. Just getting ready. We got less than 2 weeks.
We are officially, well, when this gets posted, it'll be 13, lucky 13, baby. 13 days away from opening night for the Chicago Blackhawks, and the Bedard era will officially be begun.
Also, only 1 day away from an actual preseason game for the Hawks.
Oh, yeah, Thursday.
That's right.
Yes, hockey is back. Overreaction season is back. People getting arguments online about this line or that line or what this player doing this. Dude, hockey's back, and I am so fantastically excited and just ready to get into this.
We are in for such an exciting season.
The Blackhawks, I mean, we'll get right into it. I'm going to come out and say it. I like this team. I like the lines.
They're going to be scrappy.
And let me explain that too, though. It's like, I like this team. Don't mistake that for me thinking they're going to be a contender or they're going to surprise anybody.
They're not a playoff bubble team.
They're going to suck, but it's going to be fun watching this team suck.
Yes.
It is just unreal. And I mean, we'll go back when we took the week off last week because you were on your trip. How did that go, by the way?
It was great. You know, saw a lot of family. My son and my nephew got to hang out for like the first time for reals.
I saw some of your stories.
It was adorable. It was adorable. I loved it. And then shout out to Nolly, who's doing his master's program. So he'll be on every once in a while, but not as often as he was.
Yeah, back to school for Nolly.
Back to school. Back to school.
Instantly what I thought when he told us. But yeah, so while we were gone, the Blackhawks prospects played. They played their typical game. This year usually it's just against Minnesota. This year it was St. Louis.
Is it usually only okay? Well,
at least last year.
Did St. Louis play Minnesota as well? Is that what it was? It was like three teams. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I couldn't remember if it was just Minnesota. I knew it was in Minnesota, right?
Yeah,
it usually is. I thought
last year was at Fifth Third.
Was it at Fifth Third? Did they swap?
Yeah.
It's the only thing I ever remember happening during these like prospect games is the Wild just trying to fucking murder everybody on the Hawks. Like they try to injure them. Which
is why I was very happy to see Connor Bedard play against the St. Louis Blues and not the Minnesota Wild, even though Blues aren't any better. Speaking of Bedard.
Yeah, tell me about it.
What did you so before we talk about what happened, what was your like expectation, or what did you want to see from like Bedard on his own, like going into that game?
I honestly was expecting like a highlight, and I think we got a few.
Yeah. Like for me,
it's like he's gonna do something nasty, and he just did.
For me, I wanted it to be like a statement of like, oh yeah, anybody that was like this kid's overhyped, or it's like I wanted this kid to like go out there and be like an NHLer playing against mites.
Yeah, and the best part is it's against the Blues. So if there's any Blues fans watching their prospect team, it's like, yeah, buddy, get ready for this torture that you're about to face for at least like 20 years. It's like, you are going to hate him so much because he's going to ruin your team every time.
The amount of effort, or should say lack of effort, it looks like he puts into his shot.
Yeah.
Is fucking nuts.
Yeah,
that release,
the first goal, he barely celebrated, and everybody's like, "Are you kidding me?" Just the toe drag, like puck's like at his feet, and he just rips it top shelf, and just like, yeah, man, that's what I wanted to do, and so I did it.
He's got such his release is so bizarre, not like bizarre like in a bad way. It's different than what you're traditionally seeing. And I don't know if that's just like the new way they're teaching these kids to shoot the puck, because if it feels like a little bit opposite of what we're used to, you know what I mean? Like
a little bit, but I think the other thing too is that he probably just has a very good shot in any situation. Like he's not pulling that in like every time, but because of the way that the defender was trying to block the shot and then where he was able to position himself, he's still able to get an insanely great accurate shot out of it. And then in the like second goal where he's like basically on the goal line and tucks it over the goalie's shoulder again, it's a different shot, you know, like he's just capable of putting the puck in from any angle and with his stick however far away from his body that he needs to. And it's just kind of incredible to watch that like in just the brief moment of time in that prospect game.
Sorry, Poach just sent something, and of course my phone doesn't want to load.
It's Corey Perry.
Today the Hawks are holding on to number 10 for any special reason, because when Corey Perry came to town, he was told he couldn't use it.
Oh,
interesting.
Oh, well, Tony Monty up in the rafters.
For you listeners, I'm just shaking my head. Yes.
I think it's I mean, it kind of makes sense. Like if like we've said before, if Host is up there, you kind of open the door a little bit too much to a lot of guys, and Sharpie would probably be a part of that because he was part of the 3 Cups. And
definitely doesn't belong up there, but
I mean, with the way that they kind of laid out the ground rules for the ability to be up there, everybody that was on the Hawks that had 3 Cups at that point, like they're going up, you know.
Dude, in like 10 years, everybody's gonna have to use the rookie camp numbers for their main jersey numbers.
That's like, fine. I mean, in 10 years, like guys are gonna be wearing like different, like weird numbers because I don't know. Actually, we'll see. Because you know, there's like they kept them at a lot of like low numbers because that's just the way it was. And then like as we got to like this point in time, like guys are using numbers of guys that they grew up watching, but also guys like Kane, Crosby, like they're using like their birth year, right? Yeah. So like we're getting to the point where their birth year is back at those low numbers that are retired already. So it's kind of
time is a flat circle. It just continuously goes. But yeah. The third goal, I've already forgot what his third goal was. I just remember it was another fucking.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Was it a snipe too?
It was just I think it was just a rip. It wasn't like an empty netter or anything. Right? It wasn't an empty netter, or was it?
No, because they blew them out, so I don't know if there would be an empty net.
It was like, oh, it was 5-0. That's right, because Comesso got a shutout, which is another great thing. You like to see that happen. Either way, I think it was just a regular old goal, you know, not as amazing as the first 2, but he just like rips it and scores, and you're just like, I can't wait for this every day. Just hat trick after hat trick after hat trick.
I think the second the puck drops on his first NHL shift, he automatically has the best wrist shot in the NHL.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even trying to be like a biased, like,
which is crazy because like when Austin Matthews came in, everybody's like, "Hit this shot's incredible," and then now it's kind of like, "This is better." Is this better?
Like it's just unbelievable. Like that's one thing you see. Everybody who covers the game or talks hockey is just like his release. Mm-hmm. I think that was like, honestly, Connor Bedard's release was trending on Twitter after that game. Like it was insane.
The funny thing too is just like the other like great thing about him is his hockey IQ, and it doesn't get talked about that as much, but like you've seen all these little plays that he'll make, and like the guys on the team in the post-game conferences or like post-training camp and stuff are all just talking about how like he'll see something before you see it and make the play. And you just don't know how he does it. And he just like finds the little bit of space and then goes there, throws the puck to exactly where it needs to be. And just like, it's incredible to watch him apparently. And it's just
like there was a thing they were talking about. I think it was like a give and go with him and Taylor Hall, and they were coming in on Korchinski.
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if we sent this in our group chat or not, but I just saw it. But anyway, he gives it to Hall and he starts breaking in. And then the second he sees Korchinski turn his head, you can just see like the path, like just like, Madden, like how it's like the routes, like the lines. It's like you just see that form with him. And like he knows exactly where he gets to go, gets to the net, nice, easy tap-in goal. It's it's
just give you
insane
more of that.
This kid is 18 years old and he's already to this level.
Yeah. And it's like I said before with our group chats is just take it with a grain of salt at the moment because he's just done this right now against prospects and then the Hawks who were third to last year. So
very
as
fair.
long if he can pull this stuff off like against like the Hurricanes, or like Vegas, like teams that are like really stacked, which I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not doubting that he can't. I just when I see it then I'll be like, oh baby, even more like all in. I'm start borrowing everybody else's chips and be like, put them in. Everybody put them in.
Yeah.
Put them in. Everybody put them in.
Yeah, I mean, if he ends up being like I've said this since we drafted him, if he ends up being half the player that he's being projected to be, I'm fucking fine with it. Like we are in for a fucking treat regardless. But if he turns out to be the player that he is showing to be in training camp against the Hawks and the prospects, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a ride, and we are hopefully in for a special treat for the next 20 years.
He's got the talent and the hard work to back it up too. He's not just riding the talent; he's constantly getting better, and that's going to be the leadership qualities that alone that you just put out there and create everybody or makes everybody else want to play better too. And that's how the team is just going to get pulled up. And so like a lot of guys saying that like this team's going to be like close to dead to last. Like I could see them be more towards like 10th from last because he's just going to have this ripple effect that's going to bring guys up. And if that like continues from what we've seen here, like Jesus, it's going to, I don't know if they're going to have to do something like Davidson where he's going to be like, hey, whoa. The rebuild isn't supposed to be this quick.
Yeah.
We're still building here.
Well, when we did our Hawks preview, we did a bunch of like over under bets right now, kind of like talking and projections and all that. So over under 200 goals for the team this year.
Oh, over. What was their goal last year?
202.
Yeah, they're going to get over.
Dead last in the NHL.
Yeah, they're going to get over. I think I like their offense better this year. They were playing with a disabled Kane last year. And no DeBrincat. Like they had their leading goal scorer was Athanasio and like Radish with 20.
Yeah, and most of those came after Kane left.
Yeah.
It was like post deadline was like those guys just him and Reichel even too. Reichel had a great last few weeks of the season after the
their
trade
leading
deadline.
Point scorer was still Max Domi, like at the end of the year. Like
Yeah,
he had the most points and didn't play since March for them.
I mean, in this team, I really like this team, and it's just because it's the perfect formula for development and getting the most out of it because it's like you have your superstar potential franchise player in Bedard. You have the young guys who maybe have had a cup of coffee in the NHL or about to that are ready to show they can do it. The
kid that's looked like a stud in the brief amount of time that he played, fucking Lucas Reichel. Like if Reichel puts up, Reichel's going to put up more points than Max Domi did last year. That's a given. He's going to have 50 plus points, right? And then Taylor Hall is going to be in that realm of 50 to 60 points.
Well, that's my other thing too.
That's at the low end because if Bedard is putting up monster numbers or just doing really well, both of those guys probably get more. Like Taylor Radish probably has 20 plus goals because that power play, all he has to do is stand in front of the net. It's going to be nasty. The team's not going to be good because they're still going to let up a lot of goals, but they'll probably score a good amount of goals too.
It's just you're going to have the development there, and it's like you have and then keep going on what I was saying. It's like you have the NHL guys that have been playing that are like, okay, now's my time to show like I belong here and that I need to be a part of this future, not just a temporary Band-Aid. You got guys like Taylor Hall who his elite, or trying to show he's still elite and that he can still play and he can earn a big ticket, well, at least one more big ticket. And then you got guys on the back nine with Nick Foligno and Corey Perry, who they're not going to do anything special point wise. They're not going to put up monster stats, but what they bring in, they both know how to win. They both are great leaders. They know what it takes to last in this league. Look how long they've been in there. It's like, it's just that perfect
Plus, they bring that
combination.
grit too.
Yeah,
like,
it's just,
you're not fucking with the team, man.
if you're rebuilding, I don't know how you don't get excited about this team. Because it's just the perfect storm of everything. And then it's just like, imagine by having all this, the step they could potentially take next year. Like, this rebuild could be done in between 3 to 4 years, maybe. I know they were saying like 3 to 5 originally, so that's not that big of a difference. But if this is done right, if Katie sticks to his plan, this team is very close to being like built the right way and successful, and reason why they can't be contenders for the next 10 years.
And the thing is too, like, with the way that he's been building out the team, if it is mostly internal draft picks, they're going to be in such a good position for being good in 3 to 4 years, because a lot of these guys will still be on rookie deals. And so, like, in those few years after that, you bring in a couple of guys that are probably older that still play on some like bigger contracts, and then once their deals end, then the guys are going to be getting their new ones. And I don't know, it's a good situation to have a lot of your hopeful future talent coming from within the organization, rather than like, hey, we got to find like free agents that we're going to have to overpay to bring them here.
The only area of this team that I'm still kind of like iffy on, well, I guess not iffy. So I'm iffy on goaltending, because it's still, we're putting a lot of eggs in like the young kids baskets between Comesso and this what's the kid we drafted this year?
Gajan.
Yeah, who's fucking tearing it up in the first couple of games of the USHL this year.
Yeah.
I know we're putting a lot into that, which it's easy fix. We could bring in a vet on a 1-year deal or something to help that out, whatever. The D, it's just not as clear for me. Like, I know we have the pieces, but it's like it's just such a different
Defense
position and way to develop it. Yeah. And it's just, you need those veterans to play massive minutes, but you also need to find a way to get these young kids in the lineup a lot more. It's just, we have a log jam, which is a good thing to have, a good issue to have right now, especially in a rebuild. But it's like, there's a lot of guys that aren't going to see as much time as they probably should. And it's just, I don't know. It's an interesting situation with the defense.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, like, it's kind of a weird thought, but do you think it's easier to develop forwards on a bad team and easier to develop defensemen on a good team?
Yes.
Right? Because like, they're not getting just shell shocked with fucking like offensive opportunities from the opposing team. And like, when you're a bad team and you're trying to develop good young players, like, they're getting more ice time.
Yeah.
When you're on a bad team and you're a defensive prospect trying to develop, it's going to be tough, because you're going to be just getting pounded.
Well, like that was the problem with some of our prospects early with Keith and Siebes and even Jalmerson. It was like, none of these young kids got a chance to really develop, because the second one thing went wrong, it was, all right, Keith, Siebes, Jalmerson, you're triple shifting, you're out there nonstop.
Yeah.
And it's like, at least now, I mean, Seth Jones is going to eat minutes. We know that. That's not going to change. Murphy could be on his way out as early as this year. Who knows what that is? It's like,
I don't see it happening.
I don't, but it's like, you never know. It's a possibility.
Yeah.
But it's like, also, it's easier to develop forwards, because it's like, hey, there's 12 forward positions. You can easily move guys around there. There's only 6 defensive spots.
Yeah.
And 4 of them are, let's see, the most ice time. It's not like you see easy, like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough. And it's rough to like try and just roll 60 like equally too, right? So
you really can. Especially,
let's talk about the lineup, since we're kind of talking about it. All right. With what the Hawks were kind of going with their training camp sessions, like scrimmages, a little bit different than what I thought that they were going to be doing, but I don't mind it. Obviously Connor Bedard, line one, Taylor Hall on the wing. And we were kind of thinking it was going to be like Athanasiou or like Radish. And they're actually going with Ryan Donato, which if it works, it works. I don't hate it. It kind of it's I don't know. I just got this weird feeling of like, remember when it was Kane and Panarin, and then it was just like, Anisimov.
Yeah.
It feels kind of like that. Second line
building up his trade value for the deadline in case,
yeah, true. Athanasiou with Reichel and Kurashev. The Reichel and Kurashev connection makes sense because they did play well together. I have an Athanasiou out there as just like add speed.
Oh, yeah.
Just these two have chemistry.
Fast line
of add speed. Yeah. And so then having the third line actually being Tyler Johnson, Cole Gutman, and Taylor Radish, I've really kind of like that line a lot. Yeah, it's the ex-Tampa line right now. And fourth line of Foligno, Jason Dickinson, and Corey Perry. I really, really like Nick Foligno, Jason Dickinson, and I don't think he deserves fourth line minutes. I think he's a good player, man. And I wonder if they'll end up looking to move him just for his sake. Yeah. He's in the last year of his deal. He was just very solid last year. Plus minus doesn't tell the whole story. But
plus minus is the worst stat. Like, yeah. I hate it, and people live and die by it. It sucks.
It's not a good individual stat, but when you're like close to minus 30, it's like, all right, something's like, I understand the team's bad. Like that's going a lot into it.
This is why we need to learn advanced stats.
Yeah, he was. I liked him out there. He's quick. He's actually a lot quicker than I thought he would be. That's why I'm assuming like he would probably be better if he was moved. Just it's for his sake, and I'm sure the Hawks could probably get something pretty decent for him, since they only traded Riley Stillman and got him in like a second.
Dude, he could be a good addition for a team that needs a little more depth, like a Lafferty for the Leaf type of pickup.
Yeah, I think he's a much better third line energy guy than like a fourth line grinder with Foligno and Corey Perry.
And he's so good on the PK. Like that's
that's the big thing too, right? If he's still on this team, he's getting number one penalty kill minutes.
Oh yeah.
And if he's cool with it, I'm cool with it. Like I said, man, I think he's a great defensive kind of forward that's got speed. Those forward lineups, what do you think?
Well, I don't know if I'm gonna ever get used to seeing Corey Perry in the Blackhawks jersey.
I want a Corey Perry Blackhawks jersey.
It's still too weird to me. Like, I don't know, but no, I like these lines. I think that winger on Bedard's line is just going to be a revolving door. I think there's going to be so many guys in and out of that one. Mm-hmm. I really like the bottom six. I like the bottom six. I don't know. It's hard to say like I like it more than the top six because the top six is awesome.
I think it's all exciting. It all makes sense.
It's a very spread out. I feel like it's a true 1, a true 2, a true 3. I don't know if it's a true 4. Maybe I don't know.
I don't know. Lucas Reichel, which we never talked about, even though we couldn't think about it, playing center instead of wing. Thoughts?
I don't hate it, especially right now since we don't have a true 2C on this team.
Yeah.
I also, though, don't know if it's going to last. I can see them doing it for preseason. It's almost kind of like what Toronto's doing right now with Nylander. They have Nylander in the middle during preseason, but I think he's going to end up going back to the wing as well. I just don't know if you really want to.
It's like they're trying to give Nylander third line minutes so that he can't get as much on the next deal.
Right? Yeah. Hey, and if that's what Katie's doing to try to keep Reichel's Nets contract pretty cheap, do what
I
you
don't
gotta do,
think that's
man.
how it's gonna work because he's playing second line minutes still.
I know. Yeah, I don't know. I just my issue with it more is like in the future
Yeah.
is say he fucking kills it and he's an awesome 2C. Then it's like, okay, so do we move more to a wing? Do we move Nazar to a wing? Like,
Probably. They
because
probably
it's
both
like,
just
yeah,
both go to the wing.
yeah,
And
it'd be
then
interesting.
it wouldn't be awful if they did it like Colorado did like years ago when it was like McKinnon and Duchesne, and they just like depending on where the face-off was, they would have one take it
That's
over the
true.
other.
Yeah.
Like that's not a terrible idea, but um I like it a lot. Like it's I like I said, I think it's just gonna be very exciting. Lucas Reichel at center. I saw his little like post training camp interview about it, and he's very excited about it. Like he
Yeah.
like I mean German excited, so like very calm. But like you can tell like he's ready for the challenge. He's like really up to like having this two-way game tested, like being in the play at all times. Like I think it's going to be so much better for him because he looked best when he had the puck on his stick last year, and being at center is going to give him the most opportunity for that too.
And people forget too, it's like when he didn't start off with the team last year, it's because they wanted him to work on his two-way game.
Yeah.
They said he needed to get stronger, and clearly they like what they saw, and he's been doing everything right. Like they told him not to focus as much as on ice activity this summer versus more like weights and try to gain some
Yeah.
pounds. And he's
Getting
coming
some,
in like I think 188 pounds and just fucking ripped.
yeah, bulked
Like
up.
yeah, he is doing everything right. He's listening to him and he's buying into it. And it's like I'm glad. I hope it works out for him because the kid fucking deserves every opportunity he's about to get. Like
Yeah. And,
he's that good.
they asked him about how he feels with Bedard coming in. And like, obviously, like teams are going to be putting their best defensive guys out there. And he's like, they had asked him how, like, what the fuck is it? It's, like, is he excited? Is he excited to like know that like they're more focused on him, so it gives him a little bit more range to
Yeah,
kind
like
of
we
do his
talked.
own
Yeah, we
thing?
talked about that.
And
Yeah,
he was talking about it too, like how it's going to be more fun for him because he's not going to face the toughest defensive matchup. So just like having that kind of in the back of his mind where he can go out there and he knows that he has room to just fucking do what he wants now too. And Bedard's going to do what he wants in the first place. So like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't put your first line like defensive unit against Bedard, then you're screwed because Reichel's going to take over. If you put your first line defensive unit against Bedard, then Reichel's going to have more room to just tear it up. And then if you start to focus more on Reichel, then Bedard's going to have just all the room in the world.
oh
more
yeah,
room than he possibly needs to tear it up.
it's crazy how much Bedard is going to do for this team in the
Mm-hmm.
growth of other players.
Yeah, right.
Not
Oh
just
my
for
god.
having to play with an amazing player, but the fact that teams are going to be terrified to put anybody else against him but the top guys. So you give all your other lines the opportunity to play against quote unquote weaker lines. Not that
Right.
any NHL team is a weak line. I mean, they do, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm just excited because like one of the things that we haven't been able to see like truly is like what are the power play units going to look like? Right? Because like if Reichel will be on the first power play unit with Bedard, like how sick is that going to be? But
yeah.
they're constantly playing against each other because it's line one versus line two. So like,
Ugh.
are they going to be on the same power play unit? I would hope so. It's just going to be nasty.
Dude, Reichel at the point with probably Seth Jones
Or Korchinski.
or Korchinski with
I mean, see, that's the
Radish,
thing.
Bedard, and Hall.
What was it like? Like, why can't I think of his name? Eric Gustafson got himself in first power play unit time because he just got so much chemistry with Kane. If Korchinski just gets chemistry with like Bedard, he's gonna be out there all the time with him.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it's pretty easy to get chemistry because like in the training camp stuff, like you just see Korchinski just curls around the back of the net and he just finds Bedard, just throws it to him and just like, all right, there you go. Chemistry.
Speaking of Korchinski, I don't know. Do you want to talk about the defensive pairs first? Because then I have something
Yeah.
from Coach Richardson when he was talking about Korchinski after I think it was day 1 or day 2 of training camp.
So for the current defensive pairings, I think you had seen it somewhere, but it's Wyatt Kaiser and Seth Jones, which goes into the whole like I didn't know we were so high on Wyatt Kaiser. No, I'm more stoked about him too. Korchinski with Murphy, and then I think you said Vlasic with Zaitsev.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what they rolled with on the scrimmage on September 25th, which I also believe they rolled with the one today or yesterday when you listen to this. Yeah, I'm not ever gonna get like set on defensive pairings or anything like that because it's gonna be a revolving door. Because like you mentioned before we were recording, we're looking at this. There's no Tenorti on there, and Tenorti's a big guy, a big body that they extended after last season.
Yep.
He is a physical presence out there, and when you got young players coming in like Bedard and Reichel and all that kind of stuff, you're gonna want some big body presence to protect them a little bit. And we all know he's not afraid to fight. Guy broke after first game back after breaking his jaw, and first game back, boom, gets in a fight. Like that guy's awesome. I like Tenorti. I mean, I know he's not the greatest defenseman, but
plus he had a 2-goal game, which doubled his goals in his career.
God, it's so funny. Yeah, Korchinski. So what I was talking about Korchinski after, it was either, I want to say it was Friday after practice. There's the whole debate about whether he should be playing with the Hawks. Is he going to stay? Is he going to go down? What's he going to do? What Coach Richardson said, he goes, if we have 70, maybe it's beneficial for him to see from above, discuss some of his shifts from the last game and really inch him along. Let's see how his progression goes into the practice games, and maybe he'll be flying high when we need to do it. It's always an option. So my question with that is 19-year-old defenseman, where we all know defensemen are kind of harder to develop. It takes a little bit longer time. Is he truly going to benefit from being health bound most of the season? And Shane Wright,
staying with the team, practicing with the team, like watching from above, like making, like just learning basically. Like sometimes it's just like paying attention and learning from the guys that are out there.
Yeah.
More than likely the guys on the other team, but but yeah, I mean, this is where my mind changes from like last year, where it's like, oh, it's better to have these guys playing like top minutes, like in the AHL. Now the team is got focus on who's going to be the core, right? It's going to be Bedard. It's going to likely be like Reichel too, unless like something happens. You want the guys that are going to be playing with this core to play. Like if Korchinski's going to be a big part of the future, get him out there now, build that chemistry, and just have them like year 3, 4 from now, like they won't even have to, you won't even know like where the guy is on the ice, and they'll know it before anything. Like this is gonna be completely off screen. Like when you're watching TV, like puck's in somewhere, they're gonna throw it and the fucking guy's gonna have it, and it's gonna be like incredible.
Yeah.
Get it started now. Like last year was a tear down year. There's no chemistry to be made because guys on that team were all on the chopping block of like being traded. This year we're building. We have the young core starting. Like get them together.
We're back with another week of football, and DraftKings Sportsbook is keeping us in on the NFL action with great offers every single game day. New customers can bet $5 and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Throw $5 on any of this week's Epic Max and walk away with an instant winner. And DraftKings isn't stopping there. All customers can take advantage of 2 new offers every game day this September. Football's more fun when you're in on the action, so download the app now and sign in with the code THPN. New customers can bet just $5 and get $200 instantly in bonus bets only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL with code THPN. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. boothill.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas City. License partner, Golden Nugget, Lake Charles, Louisiana. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdictions, void in Ontario. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms for eligibility, terms of responsibility, game resources, bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. But that's my question though too. Like, I totally agree with that with forwards, because it's like a lot easier to develop forwards. I just don't like, my biggest concern is defense and throwing a kid out there to sink or swim. He's
an offensive defenseman in the first place. That's why they're pairing him with Murphy. Like, that's also not going to give him top line minutes, right? Like, he's not going to be playing with Seth Jones playing 20 plus or 25 plus a night. Murphy's definitely just more defensive focused. He has a little offensive upside, but like, you just tell Murphy, like, hey, let this kid handle it, or like let him like run free a little bit. So you'll need to step back just and cover more, and he'll probably just be like, yeah, okay.
Like, maybe we can get the Shane Wright exception for Korchinski and send him down to Rockford instead of having to send him back to fucking juniors.
I'd rather just see him like with the team, unless he's like really struggling. Just let him stay with the team, even if it's like healthy, like a healthy scratch every once in a while, just because there's a lot of games, man. Like, a lot of games, like, it's a lot of big guys.
It's not like 10 games have to be played in the 10 games. Game number 10 can come in fucking March. Like, burn that first contract year, you know? Like,
after the trade deadline.
Yeah. So but yeah, there's like other defensemen I'm like excited to look for, or like forward to seeing more.
Wyatt Kaiser, man. Yeah.
Wyatt Kaiser.
Him being with that on the top pairing right now with Seth Jones, like, I kind of want to see how that works out. I know, I mean, like we said before, there's going to be a revolving door on that third line, that third pairing. And so I'm more excited to see more of like Isaac Phillips. I thought he played great when he was playing up. I mean, Vlasic's there. Was like, hopefully he's. I don't think there's anything wrong with him. I think they're just waiting for there to be more room in the top four.
You know who else is going to probably get a lot of time? I don't know if a lot of time, but he's going to. Del Mastro's good, but Nolan Allen,
yeah.
Same press conference after, like, or media scrum after we talked about Korchinski. He saw coach was talking about Nolan Allen. He looks like a hockey player. It looks like you can put him anywhere and he can play. He blocks shots. He doesn't even grimace. There's not even a flinch on his face. He's basically a man coming out of junior high. Now he just has to learn the NHL game. Yeah. So it's like he's impressed with him, and
it'd be pretty funny if like the best player of the Bowman drafts outside of Reichel is just Nolan Allen.
I was gonna say it's Reichel and Allen, I think, are the last remaining. Yeah.
Because Nolan Allen was the last pick he made in the first round before.
That was the Yoki Haru draft, right?
Nolan Allen?
Yeah.
No. It was the Seth Jones trade.
Was it?
Yeah, so we traded the 12th or whatever for Cole. They picked up Cole Sillinger, and we got the 32nd with Seth Jones. And so that's where Nolan Allen came from. It's like, what, 2020 or some shit?
Who was the other guy? Oh, yeah, 2021. Shit. Who was the guy?
Oh, you're talking about
never mind.
Nick Bowden. Bowden. I don't know. He's in Montreal. I don't even know if he's on the main club at all.
Yeah. But yes, how are you feeling about the decor and all that?
There's going to be a lot of room to grow, which is going to be cool. I'm excited more to see if Korchinski can stay up and if he can contribute a lot from the back end offensively.
Yeah.
Like, I hear about like his skating is supposed to be like really superior for a lot of players. So like, if he can control the puck and skate really well with it and just be that kind of defenseman that's not afraid to take it out of the zone himself and like take it deep. I always love it when like it's a young kid that's just so comfortable just through the zone and everything, because you can completely tell if somebody's comfortable taking the puck up through the zone. Yeah. Like, they're like looking around like to see like who they can move it to. They're actually like looking for like the open ice, and Like they already know if they need to get it deep or if they have room to carry it, and you gain confidence in watching those guys play. And I just really hope that that's kind of what he does. That's kind of what I was seeing out of Wyatt Kaiser a little bit towards the end of last year. Like I was like, this kid looks really comfortable with the puck for playing 3 games basically out of college.
Yeah.
No, so it's gonna be that kind of stuff. Like I'm excited, like I said, for Kaiser. Like I didn't know we were. It's like news to me. Like I didn't know we were supposed to be as high on him as like the Hawks are. And like when I said Elite Prospects had him as like a top 100 ranked prospect in the NHL, I was like, all right, is there something that I'm missing? Like where there wasn't a lot of hype about him, but if he's fucking gonna end up being like pretty good out of nowhere. Like let's fucking go.
Yeah, I mean it's not a bad problem to have, having a bunch of defensive prospects that not all of them are going to hit, and the ones that do, it's going to be even sweeter. Goaltending, we all know the story. Peter Mrazek, Arvid Soderblom. Yeah, that is what it is. I don't know. There's really not much more to say to it.
If they're gonna play goalie, there's gonna be an injury, and Comesso might come up, Stauber might come up.
Who do you think
everybody's gonna get Stauber?
Yeah,
because it's likely that then Comesso just like really takes the reins of like starting in the AHL.
Yeah, he's only 21.
But I mean, what they did last year, right, was like they brought up Arvidsson, and then Stalock came back, and either Mrazek or Stalock got hurt, and then they just decided to bring Stauber up.
And then they had Dylan Wells at one point, and
they just
Godobin at one point.
Yeah, in one game they let up like 7 goals. Oh my god.
Yep. Dane Stobie or Bedard.
Yeah, right. It's going to be an interesting year. It's going to be fun to watch. Very, very fun to watch. But
especially, if that team last year that was just thrown together because they had to throw a team together could buy into Coach Richardson's like coaching style and strategy and all that, and be that close into games. This team has been put together strategically. Like there is reasoning for certain players on certain lines and all that kind of stuff.
They're not tanking.
If they can buy in, it's gonna be fun. It really is. These games are gonna be a lot closer than I think people are gonna give the Hawks credit for. And even if they're not, oh well, then we're in the lottery again and potentially have another top 5 pick next year to add to a potential future core.
Yeah, which is fine with me.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Hey, best of both worlds. Let's go.
We'll get a good defensive prospect or a winger. I don't think we need any more centers, but who knows?
Yeah, probably tossing a winger there,
or just a fucking really good defenseman. Whoever's like usually unless it's like a first overall pick, the top defenseman usually goes like 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Just sit there. That's fine. Get the best defenseman in the draft. That's fine with me.
Or hey, we might as well just win the draft lottery back-to-back years, since we're not gonna be able to win it for 5 years anyways, and the Hawks aren't gonna be in the draft lottery again after that. So let's just.
Oh, true. Yeah, since we're gonna be in the draft lottery this year, probably not like very many times after that. Let's just win it again.
Just win it again. Just call it a day. Let's see. And then maybe even flip that first pick for some fucking pieces.
No. The fuck?
You got anything else for Hot Stock?
No. Pieces. I don't know, that's killing me. No, man. Just really can't wait. Preseason on Thursday.
Who's against Detroit?
No, it's against St. Louis, I thought.
St. Louis, okay.
I don't know who's playing exactly, if Bedard's going to be in or not. Let me just check on the NHL app. Got updated and it never works for me anymore.
Dude, NHL app sucks, and the new NHL website sucks.
It's every time I'm trying to check scores and like dates on stuff, it's like content cannot be loaded, and I'm like, what are you talking about, buddy? Like, come on. This is ridiculous. Yeah, so I can't tell you. I have no idea. But yes, Thursday. No, I think that's it. Do you have anything else?
No, I'm just fucking ready for some hockey, and we are so goddamn close. I cannot.
Very, very,
fucking-
very close. Hey, there we go. Now it's loading. Yeah, it's Hawks and Blues. Fun, fun, fun.
All right,
Okay,
NHL
so
talk.
preseason. Well, since we're talking about it, guess what? Hawks went, or not the Hawks, but the NHL went to Australia.
Ooh, and the best prospect in the world scored a sick goal.
Connor Bedard.
Did you never see that? Arizona when they did like a press release about talking about their team,
Oh no, did they?
and in the GM Armstrong or whatever was like, with our exciting signings and adding the top prospect in the world to our team.
You mean like the top prospect in your system in the world?
No, in the world, the best hockey prospect in the world.
Interesting. That's a lot of confidence. But I mean,
Yeah, do
he's
something to sell
not
tickets.
like Logan Cooley scored probably one of the nastiest goals. Why does all the cool stuff always happen in preseason? I feel like,
Dude, goal of the year in preseason hockey in Australia.
yeah.
Fucking let's go.
What is it? Pro Stock said that they sold so many things to Australia recently because of the preseason games.
Oh my god, dude, we sell stuff to to Australia all the time.
Oh
Like
yeah,
it's insane the amount of orders we send out there.
it's so funny. I love it. It's how cool. It's such a weird combination of teams that they chose to with LA and Arizona, but man, Logan Cooley just had to do it. He just
Little spinorama.
and then he
Fucking
tucks it top shelf.
dude, it's gonna be a fun.
Incredible.
It is going to be an incredible race for second place in the Calder.
Yeah,
Like
because like even with that too, like Fantilli during the prospect showcase, like
5 points,
5 points, a hat trick, and 2 assists.
and he had a sick goal too.
The same night that Bedard had a hat trick.
Dude, one of his goal too. He walked and just fucking undressed the goalie. Like,
Yeah,
dude, it's going to be so much fun. You got that, then you got the future of the league, then you got the elite right now who are come winding down and
yeah.
apparently can't get a contract negotiation or even a conversation about their contract from their own GM.
Yes,
You
yes.
got Steven Stamkos, who you wonder if he was
Wants to
holding.
be in Tampa.
And you also wonder if he was like holding on to that all summer, and he was just like pepping himself up in the mirror. I'm gonna walk in there, and the first question they ask, I'm gonna fucking say this. I'm gonna go off. If you didn't know, he pretty much talked about how he is ready. He's due for a contract at the end of this year. He told management in Tampa that he wanted an extension. Brisebois wanted a extension done before training camp. Never even got a phone call.
Nope.
Never got a phone call. You're probably the best player in Tampa Bay Lightning history, and you don't even have the conversation to explain, hey, we're not going to offer you this yet because XYZ, or hey,
we want to wait till see what happens during the season is what Brisebois comes up with.
Yeah.
It's not dumb. It's
not, but it's
just
kind of a slap in the face for Stamkos.
Yeah, it's just rude.
Some sort of conversation for your captain.
Yeah.
It didn't have to be like, hey, here's a negotiation. Get on the same page so he's not coming to training camp firing at the media.
I forgot who said this, but they mentioned that it's the second time he's going to technically go to free agency.
Yeah, Steve Dangle podcast was talking about that.
Yes, that's what it was.
They let him walk both times.
And then, yeah, they signed him last time. But
yeah,
man,
takes less.
I am just saying the Hawks are going to have a lot of cap space.
Yeah, it
would be pretty sick to see Stamkos in a Hawks jersey next year. Stamkos, nice. Bedard, Taylor Hall, line one. Who says
Draisaitl?
No, we don't need to spend that money. Draisaitl's going to get like 14 million. There's no way. let's see. Hall's got 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Next
Okay,
year's
cool.
last year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm right. So we can have a line of Hall, Bedard, and Stamkos. And that would be an all first overall pick line outside of Edmonton.
Has Stamkos been playing wing?
Yeah, he plays right wing sometimes.
Lock it up.
Yeah. Yes. Get it. Put it in.
You guys are worried about saving money. We'll trade you Corey Perry back, and we'll even retain 50%.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that too. I'm all about it.
Also, people not getting contract.
Hey.
Zegras.
What's going on in Anaheim?
The most cap space in the NHL, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. And it's come out saying that they've offered Zegras like 3 to 4 million, which, I mean,
I'm gonna say it.
What is it?
I don't think he's worth the money he wants.
What's he want? Like 8?
Yeah, I think he needs to take a bridge deal. Like I know he's flashy and he's a good personality and all that, but it's like he doesn't have the numbers to really back up.
I don't know, 139 points in 180 games. It's pretty decent. And last year the team was worse than the year before, and he still put up 65. And the year before he had 61. I guess he played a few more games though, but yeah, it's a weird situation for me because like I think he's good. He's definitely very flashy. Still puts up 60 plus points. Like who else is doing?
I like him.
Who else is doing that around his age?
Yeah, I think he's great for the game. I think it's nice having personality in NHL and all that. I just think, dude, you haven't really done anything yet. You haven't scored more than 23 goals. Like you haven't broke that 70-point mark. It's like you need it to just take a bridge deal.
Let's see.
Take a 2-year, $3-4 million, and then cash in when the cap goes up.
Honestly, it'd probably be better to like cash in when the cap goes up. But I'm sure like he's in that group of kids that's just like, pay me now, like keep me here forever. Give me an 8-year deal. Let's see. Oh man. All right. So I'm looking at guys between 21 and 23-ish. And where's the points? Let's go points. Where is it? Zegras isn't on here. Why isn't he on here?
Because he doesn't have a contract.
Oh, maybe because he doesn't have a contract signed. Is that why? Okay,
that would be hilarious. I was totally joking around with that.
I mean, you're not wrong because he's not on here. It's just on cap friendly. But he has more points than all these guys. Okay, so let's say he had 65 points. Dylan Cousins, 22 years old, 68 points. He's getting paid 7.1. Right? Matthew Boldy, 22. He had 63 points. He's getting paid $7 million. Even Svechnikov, who played fewer games because he only played 64 games, he had 55 points. Still in that realm of like 0.85-ish points per game. He had 7.75. So it is kind of a slap in the face to be like 3 to 4 million when you have the comparables that are literally like the same age and put up the same amount of points.
Yeah, I don't know. Also, do you want to be tied down to Anaheim?
I mean, yes. Like, why not? You're living in California. You're 22. The team's built. It's going to be rebuilding. You just got Leo Carlson too. You have Mason McTavish. Like you have a good center core of the future. And then Jamie Drysdale is another one Anaheim has not signed. And I'm wondering if Jamie Drysdale is just looking over at Ottawa and seeing Jake Sanderson get 8.1 or whatever, a little under 8.1 for playing 32 games or something, like 32 points in the NHL. And he's like, hey, I got 40 points. We're drafted in the same year. Like, I think they're drafted right after each other. 2020.
Six
Jake
overall.
Sanderson goes 5th. Jake Sanderson goes 5th.
Six.
Jamie Drysdale goes 6th. Yeah. Sanderson has what? 77 games and 32 points. Okay, I can see maybe that is the reason. But Drysdale has 113 games and 40 points. Is Anaheim just like they have 16 million, and if you kind of just put those guys against those comparables, right? So like Jake Sanderson, and he's got 8 million, and are you going to give Jamie Drysdale 8 million, and then you get Trevor Zegras and his comparables are making seven-ish? That's 15 million on those two players. That's all of their cap space. That's why I'm sure they're probably trying to convince him to do a bridge deal, because they made these dumb signings in the offseason with Killorn and Radko Gudas.
But hey, they're gonna get 6.4 off the books when they trade Gibson to Buffalo,
which they should have done already. Oh my god. Yeah, they made all these stupid signings, and now they're like, you guys, we don't really have the money to pay you two 15 million. Like, if they got matching like 7.5 deals, like that would make sense. And a little, I think Drysdale probably gets a little bit less. I don't know, man. It's just weird. We're about the season's so close. Are they going to not sign these guys?
Well, here's the thing too. Troy Terry just signed for $7 million.
Troy Terry just signed for $7 million. Jesus.
It's like, so compared that to, you know what I mean? Like,
he's only got 61 points. He put up 37 goals one time, or 30 plus goals one time last year. The signings they've made are stupid. They're just stupid. They've mismanaged their money, and now that they're like one of their better players, honestly, like Zegras is one of their best players, and Drysdale's going to be one of their defensemen of the future. Like, now that they need contracts, they're like, we got to be cheap on that.
If I was Zegras, I would take like 2x5.
If he could, yeah, why not?
Take 2x5, then fucking tear it up, and then just shove it up their ass.
Yeah.
When it comes time to it. Also, you got to remember too, you got to try to, pony up to your players in Anaheim, because unlike Tampa Bay and Nashville and Dallas, you got a little thing called state income tax. In California, fucks you big time.
Yeah. It's, I don't know. Like, these guys are going to get paid. It's going to be weird. I don't know. Maybe they move Gibson and make them space so that they can get like 7+ each. Pepperbeak, what are you doing? What are you doing in this offseason, signing Gudas and Killorn?
Also on the Steve Daniel podcast, they're talking about this too, and they're like, maybe their game plan is like, hey, let them hold out a couple weeks. Let's just make sure we fall down to like, the worst odds for the draft, and then we'll give them a little contract boost there. Like, are they really concerned when they're expected to lose anyways? I don't know. Maybe they're not rushing for it.
Yeah.
I just think that fucking burns bridges, but
they just wait until like the December cutoff.
Yeah.
And then they give him a deal so that they can play the rest of the year.
Are you surprised that Zegras hasn't been offered sheet?
No, just because like I think the draft picks are more valuable currently than what a $7 million plus offer sheet would give them. Yeah, I like Zegras. I just don't know how well his game translates at other teams. Like, he's got the freedom in Anaheim to do the kind of stuff that he does because they're terrible. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I just don't see him getting like offer sheeted by anybody that has cap space and the draft capital to do that. That like doesn't have well established players that would be like.
Here, I'm messing around with cap friendly. what contract would you sign Zegers for?
I mean, 7 million probably makes the most sense, right? With what I was talking about, his comparables that are his age and have like literally almost the same exact stats are all making like 7 plus. With the cheapest being, what was it, Matt Boldy?
So
If
that would
you're
be
if you're
a first.
Zegras' agent, you're trying to argue probably that you're just as good, if not better, than those guys, and they all have like massive deal, or not massive, but like 7 million for like 7 to 8 years.
So 7 million offer sheets, a first, a second, and a third.
Yeah.
Arizona, Buffalo, Carolina, Chicago, Nashville, Philadelphia, Seattle, St. Louis, and Vegas are the only teams that could even do it.
What was the top of that list?
Arizona.
Arizona doesn't have that cap space.
I'm just saying, like, by
No,
draft.
I know. We'll
Yeah.
keep going because then I'll tell you who has the cap space for it.
Buffalo.
They have the cap space.
Carolina doesn't. I can tell you
Does
that.
not. Nope.
Chicago does.
Yep.
You don't need it.
Nope.
Nashville doesn't.
Nashville has 7.9 in cap space.
Oh. Philadelphia.
No.
Seattle. Oh.
No.
St. Louis. I don't think so.
No.
And Vegas.
No
Definitely
way.
not.
No way. I honestly, it would be crazy if Nashville came out and was just like, yeah, well, give us Zegras. We'll give you a first, a second, and a third. Because
honestly, what if he like
Buffalo doesn't make sense?
Give him that 5 million and have a team come in, offsheet him at 5 million. You lose
then he's supposed to
first and a third. But I'm just saying though, it's like,
and then he stays in Anaheim likely.
Yeah.
Like, Buffalo wouldn't.
I'll sign a 1 year, 5 year deal.
Buffalo wouldn't make sense just because like they still have a couple guys that they need to pay. Like Rasmus Dahlin, they said that he's getting 10 million for 8 years that still hasn't been signed. There's like Owen Power needs a contract. So like they have money that's going to be tied up pretty soon.
Plus John Gibson.
A team like Nashville though would be kind of interesting. Because could you imagine Zegras in Nashville? That'd be sick.
You give him 5 million, you open it up to Columbus, Montreal, New Jersey, Winnipeg, and Washington.
Did you know this, since I'm talking about Nashville? They're the only team in the NHL that spends more on their defensive core than their offensive core.
Well, yeah, when you have one of the best defensemen in the
league. They're well, I mean, what is it? Right now they have Philip Forsberg still in IR. So their highest paid forward right now is Ryan O'Reilly at 4.5 million. On Cap Friendly, you could do positional breakdown, sort by defense. And where's Nashville? Where'd they go? Oh, there they are. They're at 30 million in the defenseman, and then 21, a little over 21 million for forwards. So I think even with Forsberg on the forward core, they're still paying more to all of their defensemen than their forwards, which is absolutely hilarious to me.
Hey, that works, man. I mean, defense wins championships. Look at all those banners that Nashville has hanging up in Bridgestone.
That's right. Yeah, it would be exciting to see Zegras there. Anywhere else, I don't know. What I don't know.
It doesn't make sense right now for anybody else, honestly.
Yeah. All right. Anything else on Zegras and Drysdale?
No.
Okay, great.
Wrap this up here.
Last things. Yeah.
Corey Schneider retiring in his massive one game in the New York Islanders organization.
The fall from grace, not grace, but like the stellar play that he had in the NHL was just insane to me. I don't even know what it was that like caused it, but he went from
the Bobby Lou effect. Is Eddie Lack too. He kind of
no, because he's still like in New Jersey. Schneider is like third all time in
shit.
saves and wins. Yeah, he's incredible in New Jersey. He all of a sudden just couldn't play anymore. And I don't remember the reasoning behind it. But it's crazy to me that he still was a part of the league for the last few years.
I think he was more of an AHL guy, but
he was still I don't know. You usually see guys like that when they get hit hard, and they aren't able to make it back within a couple seasons. They're just I'm retiring. It's been, I feel 5 years of Schneider just hanging out.
Oh, I think that was Lou Lamoriello doing them a favor.
Well, no, because he was still in Dallas or in New Jersey. I keep wanting to say Dallas. I don't know why.
Oh, he's in the Islanders.
I know he was in New Jersey though. I'm talking about when fall from grace was happening, because he was starting to get taken over by Mackenzie Blackwood and shit like that. And then he just went from the guy to barely able to play, and it was just weird.
Well, 37 years old, hanging it up.
Let's see. Maybe I'm just completely fucking wrong. I don't know. I'm looking it up. It's just the way that I'm going off of what I feel. Yeah, so he was on the Islanders last year. That's it. And then he went from playing 60 games in New Jersey in 16-17 to playing 40 in 17-18 to playing 26 in 18-19 to playing 13 in 19-20. Then just in 2021, that's when he was just in the AHL, played one game for the Islanders in 21-22, and then was in the AHL last year. He fell off.
Yeah, I'm surprised he just didn't call it after. Because I mean, it had to be clear that he wasn't going to get back.
It's crazy.
Last thing I have is the Heritage Classic jerseys.
Yes. Sex.
Finally.
They're so good.
Some good jerseys. After that Winnipeg drop of their
I still can't decide if I like them or not for the Winnipeg jerseys. It's just I wish the shoulders were the navy instead of red. I think that would look a lot better, but
I don't like the new logo on it. The current logo. They should have been an older, and then it's brown gloves, but the navy pants. It's just you gotta commit completely.
Well, Edmonton's setup.
Yeah.
They have the brown pants or the covers and then the brown gloves. That's kind of sick. I do like the Calgary jersey, I think, a little bit more though.
Oh, 100%. Calgary I like way better, but I like the gloves and the pants. Like Nolly said in our group chat, I'm a sucker for brown.
The old school look.
Yeah. That's all I got. You got anything?
That's it.
244. Guess what? You got to name it again.
Oh shit. Let's see. It's
a lot about the Hawks coming up.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be something about the preseason, right? The preseason's here. I don't know.
How about hockey's back?
Hockey's back. Yeah, hockey's back. It's about to be better than ever. Oh, we're gonna have such a good year. Not as the Hawks, just as hockey. Hockey's gonna have just a good year, man. Oh my god.
Yeah, so 2 weeks. Next week we have something planned. Hopefully it comes through. It was supposed to happen this week and it got pushed. Then the following week we'll have to talk and figure this out, because we're gonna try something for the home open, or not the home opener, the season opener. So we'll have to figure out scheduling there. But at some point we're gonna give predictions, standing predictions, award predictions, and some bold takes that are not gonna fucking pan out. So we'll figure that out. I got
Sorokin right. Sorokin over Shesterkin. Nailed it.
You're right.
I'm telling you.
So all right, so make sure to follow us on all your favorite podcast apps, websites, YouTube, DraftKings promo code THPN, social media at WCB Podcast, WCBpodcast.com. See you on the next one.
All right. Love you, boys. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the WCB podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast. To connect with Jarom and Tanner, check out the boys at WCB Podcast on all social media. We'll see you next time.